And welcome back to Good Things Utah, everybody. Live on a Friday from Southern Utah. Joining me now is Joe Newman. He is from Life Launch Centers. And what they do there, here in Southern Utah, is help kids overcome depression and anxiety. I should say kids and young adults.
Youth and young adults.
Why do you do what you do?
You know, it's amazing. There's so many. I'm a parent of 7. And I've got teenagers, I've got little kids, and everybody in our organization is kind of in a similar situation where they have kids and they've seen how the pressures of today are just really overtaking our youth. And we all have a very deep history in therapy, and we've kind of decided, why do we have to wait until our children have addiction or have criminal behavior or have these really big struggles in life? Why don't we get them the information early and give them the emotional tools they need to overcome anxiety, overcome depression, and avoid a lot of that pain?
CDC reports that 1 in 3 teenagers now has anxiety, depression, suicide on the rise, especially right here in our state.
Absolutely. It's not just any isolated area. It's everywhere. And it's sad to see because they really don't have to struggle with it. They just need to learn the emotional principles to self-manage, and that's really what we do.
I think parents feel hopeless. They feel frustrated about what to do. What are you doing at Life Launch Centers that works?
Okay, so the major difference is group therapy. When most parents have an issue with their kid, they realize that they have anxiety, they've maybe shut down at school, they're just not participating in social circles.
Grades are slipping.
Grades are slipping, yeah. All of these indicators, one of the first thing they do is they look for like a traditional therapist, and that can be very helpful. But what we find is that kids love the social factor of the group therapy. And so as they come together and they hear other kids talking about how anxiety is affecting them, then they quickly realize, I'm not alone in this struggle. It's very empowering.
That speaks their language.
Exactly.
Everyone in that group is speaking their language. What's behind you? What did you bring?
So this is what we call the resilience model. It's what we teach at Life Launch Centers. It's a curriculum-based program. So it's not just coming in, talking about your problems. There's actual 8-step process that we teach them to go from an emotional state back to a logical thought process. So when their emotions overcome them with anxiety or depression, we teach them the 8-step process to get back to where they can make logical decisions.
I like that. Stories in my head, what I tell myself.
That's right.
And then next, identify and solving problems.
Absolutely. I mean, every principle here is gone into a lot of depth. So this is kind of like the college course for kicking anxiety to the curb. Okay, it's not once a week. It's an intensive program where they come actually 3 times a week for in their group, and they learn these principles. It takes about 8 to 12 weeks for them to get through the whole program.
And what are you seeing? What changes? What are parents, what are teens saying to you after the program?
Oh my gosh, it's night and day difference. It's I can get a job. I feel comfortable asking people out on a date. I can go and achieve my goals because I'm not afraid and shutting down. So,
Joe, who is this for? If parents are watching right now or young adults are watching, how do they know this is for their child or for them?
You know, honestly, I would give it to my kids as preemptive. If you have any indication that your child is struggling with anxiety, then bring it back to, bring them in and get an assessment, because preventative measures are much better than reparative.
Should you use that word with your kids? Should you talk about anxiety?
Absolutely.
Should you say, do you have depression?
They know all about it. They're using that word more than we are even today. They kind of self-diagnose, and that's why we try to help them understand the difference between feeling anxious versus having anxiety. And teaching them that that's a natural part of life. They should feel anxious. That's the feeling that gets us up out of bed, that gets us to school on time, that helps us prepare for a test.
That's a great distinction for me to use with my teenagers. It's okay to feel anxious.
Absolutely.
But if you're having anxiety, let's talk about it. And Life Launch Centers, everybody, a great place to get more information and more resources. They're here in St. George, but also opening a brand new center in West Jordan.
In West Jordan, brand new. We're going to start in July, and we're taking assessments right now.
If you would like more information, go to our website. We'll link you to their website, which is lifelaunchcenters.com, abc4.com/GTU. Joe, thank you so much for joining us.
Nicea.
Up next, have you been to Hash House A Go-Go?
Not yet.
Oh,
I've heard it's so good.
Now in St. George, been open 8 months, and we're taking you in the kitchen when we come back.